Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to User One Productions. My name is David, and in today's quick Unity tutorial, we'll be going over how to make PS1 styled graphics inside of Unity. This has been a huge comment in my Discord and comment section, so with all the demand for this video, I've decided to come out and make it. As always, my friends, if you come to like this video, please remember to drop me a like, subscribe if you're new, and make sure that notification bell is clicked so that way you don't miss an upload by me. As well, in the description you will find that there's a Google Drive that links all my scripts, models, sound effects, everything I use in this tutorial series on this channel for a free and safe download. Something else in the description is going to be our Discord, where we have many talented game developers in there that are always willing to help out and give feedback. And the final thing in there is my Twitch gaming channel. If you guys haven't already checked that out, go ahead and check it out. I play random video games all the time on it, and I'd love to see you guys there. Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and show you the finished product of what we're going to be making today, and then we'll get into the tutorial. So here we are, guys, this very pixelated scene right now with a hand, a pistol, and a terrain. And also, I don't know if YouTube's picking it up, but my frames are limited to 20 because the PS1 used to run between 20 and 30 FPS. And this is what we're going to be accomplishing today. So let's jump right into the tutorial. Alright, so here I am in a completely naked scene. What I'm going to go ahead and do first is delete the main camera from the game scene. I'm going to right click in the assets and create a new folder and call this the PS1 graphics. I'm going to open that up and then I'm going to go create, and we want a render texture. I'm just going to call this PS1 styled graphics. Okay, now that we have that, we need to actually make a scene so we can actually attach the render texture to our player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click in here, create a cube, and I'm going to scale that 50 by 50 on the X and Z. And now we have a little plane to walk on. I'm going to add a grass texture. This is just a default texture that comes inside of Unity with the standard assets, and that will be also the first person controller I'll be using is just free on the asset store, and we're going to plop him into the scene. So if you don't already have the sample assets, or it's the standard assets, excuse me, go ahead and download that. And just to set up my player a little bit more, we're going to make sure he's sitting on the ground, which he is. I'm going to grab the first person camera, I'm going to pull that up. I'm going to change the depth of field to 80. Although if you are making a PS1 style game, remember the FOV was very short because of the limitations of the time. But for tutorial sakes, I'm going to put it bigger so we can see what's going on. And then I'm going to turn clipping planes to 0.01, so that way if we have something in front of our camera, we're not seeing through it. Alright, awesome. This is a good start so far. Let's go back to that render texture we just created, the PS1 styled graphics. And inside of the camera on our player, we're going to click and drag that into this target texture. You're going to notice that nothing is displaying right now because we're not having anything actually display. So what we actually need to do is we need to create a new canvas. We're going to call this, we're just going to call it graphics. We're going to go over to canvas scaler and make sure we scale with screen size. You can do 1920 by 1080 because this is a very native monitor size for modern monitors, and it can either be scaled up or down pretty proportionally. Inside the graphics canvas, we're going to go UI, raw image, and then I'm just going to call this PS1. And that's where we're going to click and drag our render texture, the PS1 styled graphics. Okay? Let's actually set that to 1920 by 1080 as well. And you're going to notice we're actually seeing a little bit of something pop up in this screen down here. If we go ahead and play the game, it looks a little weird. You look down and it kind of gets a little distorted. We're going to go ahead and fix that right now. So what we need to do is go back to the PS1 styled graphics. We're going to change the size from the 256 by 256 to 320 by 240. And this is going to kind of help that distorting kind of go away a little bit better. There we go. It looks a little more realistic for a PS1 game. Right now we have this weird message that says display 1, no cameras rendering. We're just going to go ahead, right click, and add a new camera, and that'll completely fix it. And with that camera that we just created, I'm just going to rename it to dummy camera. Just because we're not going to be using this camera for anything. It's just to make that little thing on the screen go away, and just to make sure it doesn't interfere with our game. Go culling mask, nothing. So that way it cannot render in anything. And now when we play the game, no graphical errors, and we don't have that message on our screen no more. Now what we're actually going to do is we're going to edit this texture, because as you can see, it is pretty high res for what it is. Sure, there's a little downscaling in here, but a PS1 styled game would not have this much detail in it. So what we're gonna have to do is go back and find the grass texture, not our material, but the texture it's coming from. Down here at its max size, I'm gonna put that to 256. That's probably even big for a PlayStation 1 styled game, but it's gonna work for us, and we want compression to be low quality. Press apply, and let's see how that looks. As you can see, it's much more lower quality, and obviously the lower you go, say I put it to 32, far less detail, which actually this is probably what the PS1 would have been doing. So we're actually gonna keep that for tutorial sake. One more major thing that we can do to actually accomplish the PS1 style graphics, let's find that render texture called PS1 style graphics. This is the one we changed the size in. Make sure there's no anti-aliasing. PS1 definitely didn't have that. We will go filter mode, and we're gonna do point. And that's just gonna make it a little more jaggedy around the edges. It's gonna jitter a lot more. The texture looks a little bit more crisp in a sense, because it's going by points instead of being bilinear, kind of blending everything together. YouTube's not really picking that up because it's YouTube, but like me, I can see like almost every individual pixel on this texture here. Now the final thing we're gonna be doing is creating an empty game object. I'm gonna call this frame cap. And I have this script right here called limit FPS. Let's open it up real quick. This is as simple as it gets. You can use this for other games rather than just the PS1 style games. So if you want like your game to run at 60, 70, 80, 30, whatever you need the game to run at, you can use this script for. All it is a public integer for the limit that you want the game to be running at. And then in the update, we're telling the application to use a target frame rate of whatever this number is we put in here. So if I click and drag that into frame cap, you can see I can obviously do 60, and let's go stats, and then we can actually watch this happen in real time. Over here, it's going to be going around the 60 mark because obviously there's nothing in this scene and it's going to want to jump a little more. The lower you go with it though, so say we do 20, because that's what the lowest thing was on the PlayStation 1, we'll notice automatically the game looks way choppier now. But we are staying between that 20 and 30 range. Honestly, we're not going above 25 either. So, and obviously we could throw a couple of assets in here. Like if I put my character into the hotel I made for a previous tutorial, and using all those same techniques that we just did, changing our texture size, I changed it to 32. When we press play, we are now accomplishing PS1 style graphics. This is just a little hallway that I actually made for a previous tutorial. But you can see all the non-anti-aliasing, you can see the slow frame rate, and honestly, the PS1 would have had way lower field of view, so let's do something like, I don't know, let's say 50. Does that look okay? It looks a little too far, but honestly, this looks just like a PS1 game. If you guys were around during that time and playing them, this is what it would have looked like. And that is how you accomplish it, my friends. Or at least that's how I do it. Remember, my friends, if you enjoyed today's tutorial, please remember to drop me a like, subscribe if you're new, and click that notification bell. Everything I use is linked in the description in a Google Drive for free download. It's free, it's safe. If you want to use them in your commercial game, you have every right to. And that's pretty much where I'm going to be ending the tutorial, my friends. I hope everyone has enjoyed today's tutorial. And this is User One Productions signing off for now. Peace.